So, I wanted to make a quick video on how Wuthering Waves ruined Genshin for me. Now, I'm not some Hoyo hater or Genshin hater, or at least I wasn't before I played Wuthering Waves. And it's not so much hating, but more realizing how bad we had it before Wuthering Waves released. And I wanted to go over some topics where I explain my opinion, my subjective opinion, of course, because this doesn't apply to everyone. There are some people who still like Genshin more. I don't know how, but you know, there are some people who like Genshin more, and just know I'm not trying to biasly hate. I'm not just gonna say this game's better no matter what. Blah 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 blah. I criticize this game too. Um, I thought the events for 1.0 were pretty mid, and I didn't like that. They were boring, like straight up. But it was overshadowed by the fact that most people didn't care because they were still leveling up and progressing through the story. So, I wanted to present my opinions on why I think Wuthering Waves could ruin other people's experience in Genshin and why it ruined mine. First off, traveling. Like just normal walking is significantly faster in this game. You have unlimited stamina unless there's an enemy nearby. So long as there isn't an enemy nearby, your stamina is infinite and you can non-stop run. Huge quality of life change. It makes going through cities and certain areas significantly easier and feel a lot smoother and fluid. Now, next thing. This game, its graphics are beautiful in my opinion, significantly more detailed than Genshin's. This is why I kinda take the Wuthering Waves has poor optimization complaints with a grain of salt, because half of the people I've seen complain about that are people who say something like Genshin runs fine on my phone, but this game doesn't, not realizing this game is significantly newer with significantly better graphics. Obviously, Genshin is going to run smoother than this game. Genshin can run on most potato PCs. Just speaking facts, right? Genshin can run on most potato PCs. Wuthering Waves is a more graphic intensive game, so obviously it's going to be more intensive on the device. Now, boss and mob design. This game knocked it out of the park for me. Genshin has this problem where they just go with like 4 or 5 new mobs every region, and even still, it's filled with a bunch of Fatui harbingers or Fatui all over the place, right? Just random NPC Fatui with barely any detail on them, and that's 50% of your daily quest fights, right? That's pretty much all you see most of the time once you hit the end game, and it's boring. It's boring. They're not very well detailed. I just don't like it, right? I think many others don't like it either. I simply think Hoyo, their enemy designs are too simple to the point that it's like, okay, like, sure, I guess this is cool, but like, I'm not thinking about it twice, right? It's different in this game. Let me show you. Some of these echoes are crazy. Look at this, man. Look at that. Is that not insane design? This bird too? Okay, this one isn't that crazy of design, but let me show you some of the forecasts. Bro, this turtle is a fucking badass, man. Look at that. Oh my, look at the wings. Come on. You just can't tell me as a gamer that this isn't like so much cooler. And the fact that they have so much diversity in it as well. There's so many different ones. I don't even know what this is. Like, I can't even make out what this is really. So that's yeah, that's its own thing, right? But you have these 3 costs, these lizards, these golems, more golems, different colored birds, and there's more and more 3 costs. There's specifically a Spectro Tiger 3 cost that came out in the new 1.1 patch that I don't have right now, but it looks so badass. It looks so cool, and I think obviously echoes are an integral part of this game, but I still think it's fair to compare because Wua is just so much better. Their design for bosses, mobs, even characters is significantly better. I mean, look at Jin Shi or compare Chang Li and Yai Miko. I just saw a video of someone's thumbnail comparing Yai Miko and Chang Li, and it's a world's difference in terms of detail and design. Like, it's not even close, really. Because a lot of people, I think, run with how the Genshin characters look in certain trailers and concept arts, and then they forget how they actually look in game. They look so dumbed down in game to the point that they lose like 80% of their pizzazz. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's my opinion on the mob and boss design. It's just significantly worse and less enjoyable fighting enemies in this game. They look, or in Genshin, they look significantly less cool. Now, combat. This is the second biggest reason. That's right. The combat isn't actually the number one reason behind me not liking Genshin or ruining Genshin for me. This game, its combat is amazing, right? And I'm not just talking about, oh, this game's more difficult than Genshin. The parry system is significantly better. It requires a certain level of timing and skill to actually get parries down. And even once you learn how to get parries down, you're still not always going to hit parries. One second, let me kill this pig. I can never think when I have some audio in the background. You're not always going to hit these parries because there are different bosses and different mobs that have different movesets, and you need to time them differently. For example, the Mephis, I'd say, is probably the hardest boss of all of them to parry. Some say the Morning Ikes, but I still believe it's the Mephis because of how fast he is and how deceiving the parry circle is. At times it'll completely close and then it'll delay for like half a second and then you'll be able to parry. And it throws you off and he hits you, and it's something you have to get used to the more you fight him. And I like that. I like a more challenging combat and gameplay. And not only that, the game just feels so much smoother and more fluid. I mean, look at these animations, right? Look at this. This is 1.1 of this game. You can't tell me this isn't a million times more detailed, more beautiful, and more fluid than anything Genshin has, right? Genshin is always like this quick 1 to 2 second ult animation, and that's it, right? You're done. And these games, it isn't really that much different, but the ults carry into afterwards, right? Like, you have these cool things where, like, Gion, his Resonance Liberation will have a dragon swinging around him and sweeping up mobs for like 10 seconds. And it's badass. It's cool. And it's something I love. And I'm going to get into the biggest thing now. The biggest factor in me quitting Genshin because of how much Wuthering Waves ruined it for me. And I'm sure many saw this coming. Many, many, many. And it is the movement. When I went to Genshin to farm mats for my Arlecchino because I wanted to prepare for Notland, I immediately quit after around half an hour to an hour because the movement was so bad. I forgot that you couldn't go up walls like that. I forgot that the jump, keep in mind, even this jump, Genshin's is like a quarter of this high. But in this game, look how high I went. I went like halfway up to this tree. And it's so useful for climbing certain things, and I'll show you right here. Right here on this cliff. Look how high that looks, right? That looks pretty high, right? Look at this. Instantly up. From all the way down there, I instantly came up here. It's so much better. It's such a quality of life that I never even thought about before until I went onto Genshin so that I could farm mats for my Arlecchino and realized, wow, I'm actually growing frustrated that the movement is so much worse and less fluid. And this happens to me. What? Okay, I don't know what that's about. But this happened to me where I was going up a cliff to get one of those things like for the regions that like Oculuses, I think is what they're called in the game. And I was trying to get one of those. So I climbed the mountain with a Kazuha and I messed up nearly at the end because I was getting impatient. And I fell all the way down the mountain. And I turned off my game so fast after that. I keep forgetting it does that. I don't know why it does that. I am. Oh, these things give primo gems. Come back here. Come back here. Come back here. No, come back. No, come back. I got him this time. 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 Yup. That's my 10 asterite. That's what I'm talking about. Sorry. I got a little distracted. So, it becomes this combination of things where the movement's worse, the combat's worse, the graphics worse, the designs are worse. And I'll give it to Genshin, right? I still think and I still believe that Genshin has the best story of any gacha game. Actually, no. Honkai Star Rail. I think I have Honkai Star Rail and Genshin on an equal playing field. That might be sacrilegious to some. There's some people who die by Honkai Star Rail story, but I genuinely think that Honkai Star Rail isn't as deep as Genshin's, and I much prefer Genshin's storytelling. And oh yeah, another point I want to bring up, the dialogue. Most of the dialogue in this game is skippable. Like, and even if you can't skip it, you can click through it very quickly. In Genshin, it forces you to read a certain amount of dialogue before you're even allowed to skip, right? Like sometimes it's like 10 to 20 seconds of the character talking and then it allows you to skip. And it's something that I find frustrating and annoying because not everyone wants to listen to the story, right? I understand that these games, the most integral part to them is the story because that's what sells characters. That's what gets people interested in the game. But they need to understand that once all those stories are done, what people are interested in is gameplay and rewards. And in this game, Wuwa does it right. Wuwa has the gameplay. Top tier, top notch, extremely enjoyable. And the rewards? Oh, hell yeah. My first week playing this game, I got Calcharo, I got Verena, I got not Calcharo, I got Gian, and I got his weapon within 1 week of playing the game. And then, guess what? They came out with a selector. Like, this game has been extremely, extremely generous with its rewards. Unlike any gacha game I've ever played before. And I'm so proud and I'm happy when I play this game. Every time a new character comes out, I know I actually have a chance at getting them. If you look at my account, I have Jinshi, I have Yinlin, I have Gian, I have Verena, I have Calcharo, and I have Encore. This is every limited DPS or limited character that's came out since launch. And like half the standard banner characters. More than half, actually. Oh, I'm only missing 2 standard banner characters in the entire game. These are the only 2 characters I'm missing. And compared to Genshin's launch, it was significantly less generous, right? Like, it's not even close how much more generous Kuro was. Even if you compare it to ZZZ, I have now grinded a week into ZZZ. I have Ellen, limited 5-star. I have Nekomata, limited 5-star. And that's it. Those are my only 2 5-star characters. Now, I've gotten very lucky. I'm not going to count this because I didn't get nearly as lucky in Wuwa. In Wuwa, I went to hard pity for every character. And in Honkai Star Rail, it was the exact same situation. But in ZZZ, on the standard banner, I got 2 5-star engines, the same by the way, within 10 pulls. And the Bang Boos, I also got 2 Bang Boos within 10 pulls. I'm not going to use that as a benchmark because it's just unrealistic, right? Most people aren't going to get 2 5-stars within 10 pulls. I wish I got that lucky on Wuwa though. The only character I've gotten lucky with in Wuwa is Jinshi. I got Jinshi at 50 pity and early and won the 50-50. For Gian, I went to hard pity. For his weapon, I went to hard pity. For Yinlin, I went to pity. I believe I was guaranteed for her though because I did get an early Calcharo. However, that Calcharo didn't really make a difference other than give me a guarantee because I already used my selector on Calcharo prior to that. So, overall, what's the TLDR of this video? Well, the TLDR is this game is better than Genshin in every way except story. I'll give it to Genshin. They knocked it out of the park with story and world building and region design. I think that's where Genshin really specializes. And ZZZ, I think ZZZ has a very unique art style that is appealing to some people. To me, it's appealing, but still, I prefer Wuwa a lot more than Genshin or ZZZ or even Honkai Star Rail. Acheron almost makes me change my mind on that, but Acheron is, one of a kind, right? So, this game has better combat, better gameplay, better exploration, better movement, better rewards. Like, do you see where I'm getting at here? Like, this game really did blow Genshin out of the park. And before people call me a Kuro shill or a biased Genshin hater, I want you to know, right? Before this game came out, I had zero confidence in it. I thought it was going to be shit. I'll say it completely out loud. I thought this game was going to be shit. I thought I was going to play it. I thought it was going to be another Tower of Fantasy, and everybody would quit the game and the hype would die down after the first few weeks from people calling it a Genshin killer. Realistically, there's nothing that will kill Genshin. Genshin is no different than WoW. And it's currently in its phase where it's being replaced, or there are better MMORPGs coming out than it. However, it'll still be that main game that'll carry on a legacy and a dedicated hardcore fan base. And I think Genshin is no different. It's going through the same cycle that WoW did, where once companies finally realize, oh, if we just step up our fucking game and make a better game, we'll sell more and become more popular. And that is what the gacha space is going through right now after Genshin, right? So if you haven't played Wuthering Waves, if you haven't played it because maybe you find the community too toxic and they all say, oh, Genshin's ass and blah, 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 please try this game. Please. I genuinely believe the likelihood of you finding more enjoyment in this game is very high. I grinded ZZZ for a week straight, and when I came back to this game, it genuinely felt like a breath of fresh air, like I was free. Like I didn't feel stuck forcing myself to play something that I didn't enjoy. Now ZZZ isn't exactly that. The reason I got so far in ZZZ was because of content. I wanted to make a few videos on it and give it my full honest review without being biased and only being at the beginner levels, just so I could prove my point to people. And I have found some enjoyability in ZZZ. However, it's still not anywhere near what Wuwa or Honkai Star Rail offered me. Mainly Wuwa, because even Honkai Star Rail causes me some stress sometimes, but there's just something about Wuwa that makes me feel at peace. Like, it feels like I'm playing the gacha game. And it's just amazing. I love this game. I love the devs. Very rewarding. You guys may or may not have seen the rumors that we might be getting a free 5-star in the next patch. Like, this game is crazy. It's so generous. And it makes me want to spend money on the game. It makes me want to keep playing the game. Unlike all these other gacha games that make me want to quit. I also wanted to talk about something that Genshin stands, or Hoyo stands in general, have. I don't understand how you reach this level of cope. Where they're saying, I couldn't imagine getting all these rewards. It'd feel like too much. Like I'm getting spoiled. Do you understand what that means? What you're saying? You think you're getting rewarded too much and it's bad. That's what people are saying about Kuro. They're getting rewarded too much and they're bad. Not everyone. It's a very vocal minority of Hoyo stands who think it's normal to only get 1 5-star every 2 patches. Like, people don't understand that the more characters someone has or is able to get, the more enjoyability comes from the product, which is us. We are the product of this game. We pay this game, and we give them our time and dailies and all this stuff. We play this game on the daily. We give them our money. That is how they make money off these games. And for you to say, I don't want more rewards, I want less rewards because we don't deserve them, and other companies who do give better rewards are being too generous and spoiling their fan base. Do you hear yourself? You sound stupid. These companies make insane amounts of money. Kuro made their entire development cost for this game back within 1 month and more. Think about that. This game's been in development for years and years. And PGR, all they had to go off for revenue was years and years of Punishing Gray Raven. And the moment this game comes out, they cover the entire development cost within 1 month. These games milk money out of people like crazy. And it's not crazy to expect a company to be a little bit more generous towards its player base. This is why so many people have quit Genshin. Even before Wuthering Waves came out, we saw Honkai Star Rail was way on the rise and Genshin was starting to have a downfall. It was no longer the titan that it once was. And it's because Honkai Star Rail is more rewarding than Genshin, right? Honkai Star Rail's gameplay isn't even as fun, I'd say, as Genshin. I think Honkai Star Rail has cooler ults and animations and stuff, but I still believe that Genshin has the more fun combat, right? Mostly because of the elemental reactions. It's just a fun mechanic to me that I really like. But people went to Honkai Star Rail, or the majority, I believe, went to Honkai Star Rail, including me. I went to Honkai Star Rail because of how much better the rewards are, how much cooler the characters were, and that was it. That's literally the only reason I went to Honkai Star Rail and ended up liking it. I was just sick of Genshin and only getting 1 5-star every maybe patch. And then if you lose your 50-50, you're not getting an actual character until 2 patches later. Keep in mind, that's 3 months. That's a quarter of a year to get 1 character that you like. And guess what? You probably don't have any supports for them. You probably don't have the right teammates for them. Because they probably already passed in patches where you couldn't wish on without spending money. So, please stop running away with this random, stupid take that this game and Kuro is being too generous. They are being generous enough. I believe there's no such thing as too generous in these gacha games. Because the more generous devs are, the more generous the customer will be, right? It's a thing that goes back and forth. It's loyalty. The more loved and cared for a player feels, the more time and more loyalty they're going to have towards said game. So I think I've gone enough. I think I've went on about my viewpoints. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think differently from me. Did I say anything wrong? Do you think differently from me? I'm not someone who believes his opinion is everyone's opinion. I do believe in this case I am the majority, but I don't think that my opinions are infallible. I don't have this ego where I believe I'm right no matter what. Please let me know how you think on this situation or on this subject. And yeah, I hope all of you have a beautiful day. I hope all of you have a sweet night. And peace.